Alright everyone, welcome back. Another segment in Revit, which we need to be completely familiar with, is insert. As a beam modeler, no matter what type of discipline you are working with, for example, it could be mechanical, electrical, HVAC, architectural, no matter what your discipline is, you need to be completely familiar with insert and its sub-items. For example, first item that we have here is link Revit. When you want to work on a piping project, you would be given some other files regarding other disciplines, for example, structural or architectural. And you need to be able to use such files in your own project. In other words, you should be able to link other files with other disciplines, for example, mechanical, architectural, structural, and so on, and then use them in your files, in your projects. Now we said our whole tutorial is about piping projects, right? So obviously, you need to link and work with other files as well. And they might have different formats, for example, IFC, or, other formats, which Revit software could support. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is that you should be able to link and use other files in your projects as well. And then you shouldn't only rely on CAD files, because CAD files aren't really complete because they don't contain z-courses. I mean, they are just two-dimensionals. Okay, anyway, we said that the first item that we have here is link Revit. Again, I know that I'm just repeating myself here, but this is quite important. So again, we can use this item to link other files and then use them in our own projects. For example, we said that we are working on a piping project and you are working as a team member in that project. So using this item, you can actually check the work of your teammates as well. Okay, now let's see how it works. I'm going to click on it. Okay, as I said, no matter what discipline you are working with, I mean, like HVAC, electrical, etc., should link the architectural and structural files first. So I'm going to link this sample file that I have here. Well, let me just find it from piping here, file, RVT, and for example, I'm going to select this reference file. Now, structural, open. Just like this, the file would be linked here in our viewport. Now again, link Revit, and this time select and link the architectural file. Now, based on the architectural and structural file that we've just linked in our viewport, we can continue working on our own project. I mean, with our own particular discipline. Remember, guys, if you are working as a team member in a large Revit project, it is quite necessary for all the members to have a common base point. This way, you could actually prevent so many possible future problems. So again, in a large project with different disciplines, it is quite crucial for all the members to have a common base point. And by the way, such common base point would be specified in BEP or BIM softwares before you actually start the project. And we've discussed such softwares in BIM tutorial. And if you're not familiar with such concepts, don't worry, you can check them later on. For now, just focus on Revit, how it works, and our piping projects. Okay, back to our work. When we link a file in our viewport, it will automatically show us some, you can say, levels or level codes even, and overall some details which we don't really need. For example, here, as you can see, we have both structural and architectural levels. And as I said, we don't really need to see them all. So I can go to visibility and graphics here, or we can actually open up its window from up here. It doesn't actually make any difference. Anyway, in this window from annotation tab, I'm going to find and deactivate the level here. When we deactivate the levels from here, from this window, all the levels that we have in our current view would be deactivated. I mean, all the levels regarding architecturals, structurals, and any other levels that we have. But as I said, I just don't want to see them in our linked file. So to achieve this goal, I should control the levels from Revit Link tab. And remember, this tab would appear for you here in this window when you have a linked file in the first place. Now in here from Architectural, I'm going to click on By Host View, then select Custom. Back in Annotate, set this one on Custom as well. And now deactivate level. And now only the architectural levels would be deactivated, And we can do the same for structural as well. And basically you can do this for any other category that you want. See, this is our current view now. All right, now we can enter one of these views here. Now, based on the architectural levels that we had, we can start creating the levels that we need. And we have actually discussed these topics before. For example, we have the mechanical reference levels here, which we need to modify. Okay, let's see what we have here. We have 0 and 0. Then we have a minus level. For example, I'm going to set this on minus 1500. Then the first level, I'm going to set it on 0. And as you know, we can actually rename these as well. Then we can reselect our level tools and start creating the mechanical levels based on the architectural levels that we have. Okay. I'm going to select a line and do some aligning here. Remember, guys, we are able to use other techniques here as well. For example, copy monitor. But the focus here is on the more rudimentary items that we have. And we're going to get to the more advanced ones later on in our course. Now, if you remember, we said that when we are creating the levels, we should actually activate this option up here, Create Plan View. Otherwise, instead of having levels or floors, whatever you want to call them, we would have references. And if you have created references by mistake, don't worry. You can go ahead and open up Plan View here, then select Floor Plan, and then we will see a list of the references that we have. We can select them all, for example, and then add them here in our list. And as always, you can go ahead and rename everything to whatever you want. So again, we can link files. We can link different files in our viewport. Check the architectural or structural file that we have as our base file. Find out what you need in your own project and start working on it. Oh, and by the way, when you link the architectural and structural files, first you need to set the needed equipment such as plumbing equipment or plumbing features or mechanical equipment and so on. And yeah, basically you should first set them all. And by the way, you might not be quite accurate when you first set them, but it'll give you some general ideas of your own project and how you should move on in it. In other words, it'll help you prioritize your each step along your project. And this is quite important.